Hello, true believers. Welcome. And we thought that we would talk about scary movies since it's Halloween coming up.
Or maybe scary-ish.
Scary-ish.
Yes, scary-ish.
Sure.
It's the spookiest week of the year, right?
Yeah.
Scary adjacent.
Yeah. Scary adjacent. So we're going to talk about some of our favorites, and maybe you can add them to your list if you haven't seen them. Go right ahead. Who wants to start?
Can I go first? I only have two.
Tony, go.
I will go. I'm not a big scary movie guy. I like them occasionally, but my favorite ones are the ones that kind of blend comedy into the scariness. And so my two scary-ish movies, I guess you could say, that I would recommend, and these are kind of always the go-to scary movies that I like. Cabin in the Woods.
Oh yeah, that's
Of course.
Super great. And then and this one is really scary adjacent. What We Do in the Shadows. The movie that the TV show is based on.
Yeah.
Just
And the TV show,
fantastic.
for fuck's sake.
Yeah, obviously the TV show as well, but
For
you know,
fun's sake.
I don't know how many people know that that's based off a fairly oldish, not fairly. I mean, when did that movie come out? Like 10 years ago, roughly.
Not that, it wasn't that long.
No.
I think it was
like
about 10
no.
years ago.
Nah.
2014.
Nah.
14.
Yeah, like 10 years.
Oh, there you go.
That's not.
Just 8 years.
Same.
But,
And-
But
and
hey,
the other-
but like 2 of these years have felt like at least 7 years.
What
Yeah,
is
exactly.
time
Thank you, Shannon.
anymore?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
So anyway, those are my two ones. Like I said, I'm not a big scary movie kind of person per se, but I like those ones a lot.
All right. Who wants to go next?
I'll go next.
Oh, Rebecca, hi.
So I've got a couple of options. It's hard to really narrow it down because I just have seen so many. My most favorite of all time, Midsummer. Not gonna.
I
let that one
almost
slip
watched
under.
that yesterday.
Why
Almost.
haven't you?
It's
well,
your people, Tony.
I decided I needed to give it more attention than I was prepared to give it at the time. So
God, you should watch it. What are you doing tonight?
I will.
Just
Maybe
watch
I'll
it.
watch Midsummer tonight.
There you go. There are two movies that are more like psychological that I've been chasing the high of ever since I saw them. The first one is called The Invitation. It's on Netflix. And the second one is called Coherence. I don't exactly know where that one is now. It was on Hulu when I saw it, but so Coherence and The Invitation. I've been chasing the high of those two ever since I saw them.
What's The Invitation? Is that an older movie?
No, it's newer.
Okay.
This guy goes to like his ex-wife's house, and they essentially try to get them to join a cult kind of thing.
Okay.
It's wild. If you are already thinking about Christmas, like Target is, there's a
Target. The war on Halloween. They have declared war on Halloween. They only had
they've
their
taken
Halloween
down
stuff
like
out.
all the Halloween
Yeah,
shit.
they had Halloween
Already?
stuff out for like
Yeah.
3.5 weeks.
What happened to the war on Thanksgiving? Did that just
Yeah.
end
Fuck
and they
Thanksgiving.
lost?
Yeah.
But there is a Christmas horror movie called Better Watch Out that I really, really love. There's a scene in it that almost made me puke. And it's just very good. It's a horror comedy. So, Tony,
Okay.
there you go.
What made you puke? Was it body horror? Because I don't think I could do that.
I don't want to describe it, but because you don't really see gore, you see blood.
But you
But
know
you
what's
don't
going
see
on.
the gore itself. Yeah.
You know what's going on, so your imagination just goes.
And just the way it's presented, if you have seen this movie, message me and then we can talk about it, because there's one scene in particular that I was like, no, gotta look away. And then a book, if you like to read scary books, there's a book called Head Full of Ghosts by Paul Tremblay. It's very scary. It's about this family that gets a reality show and one of their children is possessed, and it's kind of spooky. So those are my recommendations.
Very spooky.
Creepy paper.
Creepy paper.
Creepy paper.
Who's next? Who wants to go next?
I can go.
Lee, go.
I'll try to be so quick with this, but I have like 1,000 favorite horror movies, so this is hard. From the Guillermo del Toro vault, I have
Yes.
Crimson Peak and Pan's
Yeah.
Labyrinth.
Hell yeah.
Both are movies
Those are-
about the real monsters being people, because
Yes.
the people are the scariest things in them. The ghosts in Crimson Peak are beautiful and disturbing and haunting. And
But
then in
also,
Pan's-
the shape of water too. I think you
well,
put
yeah,
that right.
I mean that's kind of a constant in Guillermo del Toro's films is that the people are the worst part of them. For your weird turn of the Millennium period, Dark City is fantastic and atmospheric and film noir, possibly science fiction. Really hard to say.
I watched that for the first time like a couple months ago.
Yeah, that's an
wild.
interesting movie. Of course, the Hellboy duology, and I'd even actually throw in the David Harbour Hellboy. A lot of people are giving so much shit to. If you're a Hellboy fan, if you like the comics, the David Harbour Hellboy is actually a lot of fun. So, and then getting into wacky territory, Cabin in the Woods and Tucker and Dale versus Evil. That's
Oh my God!
Yes, Tucker and Dale versus Evil is
that is what I call the Jeff Michael Weiss double feature because he highly loved both of those movies. And then if you want a masterclass in one of the greatest directors of the horror genre's lifetime, and while you're getting ready for Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, you want to watch Sam Raimi's Evil Dead 2, which he shot on like a $14 budget over the course of. I mean, it's basically a remake of Evil Dead 1, but
it's better.
And then flash forward to what I think is his most underrated movie, Drag Me to Hell. Because
Yes.
I like that one. Yeah.
Remember,
I guess I've seen
we saw
more
that
scary
together.
movies than I thought.
Yeah, Drag Me to Hell kills me because he was going to get something like an NC-17 rating because of the gore in the movie, and so he just reshot all the wet effects as green, yellows, and blues.
Yeah.
And it makes it even more disturbing.
Exactly.
That movie's
like
fucking wild.
Infected
Love
goo.
that. Love
Yeah.
that.
And it's such a bummer ending.
Oh,
I
so
love movies. I love movies that
perfect.
don't have a happy ending. It's
Yeah.
so
It's like
good.
it's like he watched a whole bunch of who's the Italian zombie movie guy
Mario.
Dario
Did
Argento and I can't remember the other guy's last name starts with an F. It's like all their
Luigi.
movies are like, did the final girl make it? No, here's the final girl getting eaten alive,
Right.
and that's the closing credits.
Yeah.
All right, Shannon. What
I
about
could
you?
go. Okay, so I've got some pretty wacky ones. But now first, though, the one that still legitimately scares me is because the Catholic guilt, Catholic demon fear. John Carpenter's Prince of Darkness. I don't know why. That still scares the shit out of me. Scary ass Alice Cooper. You know. But yeah, I like that one a lot. But here we go. Talking about getting scared and getting ready for upcoming holidays. Thanksgiving. If you've
What
never
is
seen
this?
Thanksgiving, it's really low budget, but it's a evil turkey. It's like a
not-
turkey that
That's not
like
Poltergeist.
no, that's not Poltergeist.
Hey.
No, it's Thanksgiving, and it's like a shitty hand puppet. And it's all foul. It's like, I'm gonna fucking kill you, piece of shit. And it's possessed by like a serial killer. Tire.
Oh,
Yes. Movie has a
About
Greek
the-
chorus.
Yeah. About a tire that is fucking killing people.
Because it's in love with someone.
Right. What I mean, Carrie and Lee's favorite, if you can find it, Brain Dead.
Yes.
Oh, you're talking
Brain
Hey.
damage. Brain damage.
Brain damage, yeah.
Brain
Hey,
damage.
how's it go? What's the guy's name?
Hey there, Brian.
Hey, Brian. How's it going? It's about this guy that finds an alien slug that injects fucking psychedelics into his head.
Yeah.
And but it also has a great and the alien's name is Alomar for some
Yeah.
reason. And oh my god, if you haven't seen this movie, as I say, fix your life.
Say there, Brian. Why don't
Hey,
you let
Brian.
me crawl up on the back of your neck?
And give you a little shot.
Is that what the alien
Right.
sounds like?
Yes.
And he's like this weird little like purple slug thing.
It's like
you know?
89, 90. Yeah.
It's like a puppet of some kind, and
Yeah, and he's got like big teeth.
but then he injects the guy Brian with his juice and makes him high, but then he takes over his body, and
Naturally.
Yeah, and then like he feeds off the endorphins of him killing people or whatever. Oh, and Carrie, the movie where everybody gets their heads pulled off.
Oh, Motel Hell.
Motel Hell.
I've got it on my list.
Yeah, Motel Hell. And then, of course, the scariest movie of all time, because it's true, Schindler's List.
Yeah, it's scary, yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
I know from experience, not a good first date movie. Anyway.
No.
Yeah.
Out during Schindler's
List.
Come on.
I'm telling you. Yeah, my list has Motel Hell on it, and that's what's great about that show is that it's silly, but it's disturbing.
Yeah.
It's about a guy who owns a motel, and he's got the best beef jerky in the land. He really does, and we find out how he makes it. And there's
Not beef, is it? It's long pork.
Yeah. What's great is he'll bury you up to your neck. He only kills bad people. And bad people check into his hotel, if they're having orgies or doing drugs or whatever.
Right. And isn't like Cliff Clavin one of them?
Clavin is one of them. Yeah, he's a biker.
David Ratzenberger,
John Ratzenberger.
John Ratzenberger is a biker in it. But Farmer Vincent and his sister.
His wife? It's his sister.
It's his sister. They bury you up to your neck in the dirt to soften you up.
Yeah, soften the meat.
They cut your vocal cords so you can't scream.
Right. So there's like all these heads going.
Oh gosh, I don't think I can watch that. Nope.
You can. Trust
I don't
me.
know.
And then they get a funnel, and they feed you with the funnel this protein.
Yep.
Like foie gras.
Yeah, and then they put bags over your head. And then when they harvest you, they just tie a rope around your neck, tie it to the tractor, and pull you up, and that breaks your neck. And then they turn you into beef jerky.
Harvest.
Yeah,
Wow.
But you're also he wears a pig head when he's killing you with his chainsaw.
He comes after you with a pig head and a chainsaw at the end.
Such a like how that never won an Oscar.
Also co-starring Wolfman Jack as Reverend Billy.
That's right.
Wolfman Jack is in it.
Wolfman Jack's in this movie?
Yes,
Yeah.
Motel Hell.
Motel Hell.
1980.
I'm making Jen watch this tonight.
Yeah, I'm not very good at horror movies because I like all the ones that everybody hates. So I've got my list of my personal favorites are I like the Saw movies. Sorry,
Yeah,
I
you
do.
Yeah, you do.
Did you even what about the new one?
The new one, I liked it too.
Okay.
I like them all.
Spiral? Is that what that's called?
Yeah, I like the Final Destination movies. I like the Scream movies.
I love the Scream movies.
Yeah,
I love the Scream movies.
We watched What You Did Last Summer, Part 1 and 2 last week.
Oh. I like the remakes of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre and the Jason one because Jason was finally fast in this one, so I like that.
And he was protecting his pot.
Yeah. And the remake of the Freddy with the guy who played Rorschach. I like that one too.
The guy from the Bad News Bears.
But here are some of my personal favorites.
Unapologetic. Don't give a fuck, Carrie.
I liked Jason versus Freddy versus Ash. I loved it.
That was a movie?
Yeah.
I kind of
Jason versus Freddy was a movie.
I love that movie too.
Or something?
There was a comic book that was Jason versus Freddy versus Ash. But Jason versus Freddy, I enjoyed it. I did. Now let's see. I liked that remake of Dawn of the Dead that James Gunn wrote that. And I enjoyed that.
Zack Snyder, that was where we first met.
Were there at the mall?
At the mall, yeah.
That one's a good one.
I just love that.
Well, and also like, what's his name? Ty Burrell's in it.
Burrell's in it.
Ty Burrell's in that?
Yeah, he plays a scumbag.
He sucks.
You said
in it,
all these names I like. I might have to watch it.
It's pretty good.
He is so good at being a bad guy. But my favorite scene in the movie is they're up on the roof of the mall, and this is so James Gunn. There's a guy across the way who holds up signs. He'll write things and holds up signs, and so he calls out celebrities in the crowd that are zombies down there.
Nice.
And so it's like, Burt Reynolds.
Yeah.
And then I think it's Ty or somebody is up on the roof of the mall and will shoot Burt Reynolds in the crowd. You'll see the zombie Burt Reynolds, going, Burt Reynolds. Boom.
Just a zombie that looks like Burt Reynolds.
Yeah.
Right.
And also, like, it was so funny when I watched the first episode of Modern Family.
Mm-hmm. It was hard because you're like,
because I was like,
so bad in the movie.
I was like, that's like, I remember him banging that chick from behind.
yeah, he's an asshole.
Yeah.
So anyway, there's all those. All right, so the good ones that I can recommend, of course, the new Candyman movie. We've talked about that. The Babadook was the last time I got really scared.
That movie scared the shit out of me.
The last time I got really scared was the Babadook. My wife's favorite horror movie, and we'll probably wind up watching it. We watch it every year. Is a movie called The Orphanage.
It's good.
Yep.
Which is
Guillermo
quite
del
good.
Toro production.
Yes, and of course I'm going classic. My favorite, and I don't know if it's considered a horror movie or not. The original Psycho. I still love that movie.
Psychological horror.
And I'll say this, I didn't mind the sequel, Psycho 2. I'm one of the few people who think that's not bad.
What about the unnecessary remake? How do you feel about that one?
I did not see the unnecessary remake. The shot-for-shot remake?
Yeah, except for the jacking off.
Yeah, I didn't
We're
see
gonna
that
we're gonna make the same movie over again, but we're gonna add some masturbation.
Yeah, see, that's why I said I don't need to see that because I saw the original. If it's a shot-for-shot remake, I don't care.
Right.
Which one is Vaughn in it?
Show me something new.
And actually, if you're a fan of that, if you haven't watched Bates Motel.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Again, the whole Norman Bates and his mother thing
Dynamic.
is just, I just love everything about it. Anyway, so those are mine.
I got one more that I just remembered. It
Yes.
actually did scare me, and I can't remember if I've watched it since then, and you guys are probably going to laugh at me, but Paranormal Activity, the first
Paranormal Activity fucked me up. Paranormal Activity is the
one.
reason to this day I still have to fall asleep either with a TV on or a podcast on.
Do you ever put flour around your bed to make sure that nothing stepped in your
No,
area at
but
night?
I remember when that movie first came out, I saw it in theaters like 3
Yeah,
times. I
me
loved it
too.
so much, but it fucked me up.
Yeah,
You know what?
Paranormal
Yeah.
Activity.
You know, it's another suggestion I could probably give at this point, because it's been so long, and there might be people who haven't actually seen it.
What?
Is I saw the Blair Witch Project at Sundance before it was a thing,
Yeah.
and like in a midnight movie at the Tower, and that shit honestly scared the living shit out of me.
Well,
Made
it
me
was
nauseous.
the marketing is what got you, because it did it to me as well.
Because everybody thought it was real.
Everybody said, "Oh, this is found footage. This is put together.
But,
they don't know what happened to these kids." And I'm like, "Oh, okay,
wow.
intrigued. All right."
But like it was actually a pretty well made movie, and they did a great job with it. But yeah, don't watch the second one.
Well, kids, I forgot one of the greatest horror movies of all time.
Is it Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2?
It is not. It is not Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3 starring one Viggo Mortensen either. He wears a nice little flowery dress to dinner.
Yes, he does.
Peter Jackson's little known Dead Alive.
Dead Alive.
Oh,
But
fuck! Yes!
Now see,
find the director's cut, because it is literally 45 minutes longer than the standard edition.
Whoa.
What is
Can I
Dead
get-
Alive about?
Okay.
Dead Alive is set in the 1950s in Wellington, in New Zealand, and it's about a boy named Nigel who lives with his mother, and he meets a beautiful girl named Paquita, and they're on a date, and Nigel's mom's very jealous because she's crazy, and she gets bit by a very rare Sumatran rat monkey that turns into a zombie. And so the Sumatran rat monkey is a stop-motion animation that looks like a stop-motion animation.
Yeah.
And the movie, literally, it's like 90 minutes long if you get the standard cut. It's
Of just gore.
And that's the standard cut. The director's cut, holy shit, is 45 minutes longer. There is a scene where he's in the middle of a party where the zombies break in and everybody gets murdered, and then they all stand up, and he runs out to the utility shed and gets a lawnmower, and he's just
wait. That's the priest.
No.
Priest.
The priest kicks ass for the Lord, and
That's
he's a
right.
kung fu fighting priest who fights a whole bunch of 1950s gangsters, and he's like, I kick ass for the Lord.
Yeah.
But Nigel, there is literally a scene where Nigel's being chased through broken sections of the wall by a guy's intestines that fart as they're crawling, using the lungs as legs.
I have to watch this now.
But Lee, that part that you're talking about where he takes the handle off the lawnmower, straps it to his chest.
Yeah. And he
turns
kills all
it
the
on,
zombies.
and he runs through them. Blah, 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 blah.
But
Blah,
then-
blah,
but
blah,
in this
blah,
movie,
blah, blah.
I'm ruining nothing. I am ruining nothing.
No,
The zombies,
you
all,
have to
the,
see
zombies the zombies all stand back up, and you get the greatest physical comedy scene of all time. He tries to run away, but he can't because there's so much blood on the floor that he's running in place.
yeah.
Is Benny Hill music playing?
In your head.
Oh, and of course, that terrible Malignant, man. If you haven't seen that, watch that piece of
Well,
shit.
I don't need to because you already told me how it ends.
I did not, because you need to see it.
Don't say anything else because I forgot what he said. So maybe I'll watch it now.
But Lee, you just reminded me of what I think is the best ghost movie of them all, and it's not Poltergeist. It's you reminded me, The Frighteners.
Yes.
Frighteners is so good.
Frighteners is the
Yes.
best ghost
Also Peter
movie
Jackson.
ever. Peter Jackson, yeah.
Frighteners
Best
is good. You
ghost
know what
movie.
else? You know what else is good? Fright Night. And I the
Both
new
of
That's
them.
the one I'm thinking of.
I've
Both
only
of
seen
them.
the
Yeah,
new one, and I really
the
liked
remake
it.
of Fright Night was real good. I liked that.
I love both those movies.
The 86 movie is very 1986, but it's so good because you've got Christopher Sarandon as Jerry Dandridge the vampire, and he's so smarmy and charming.
And the
Roddy
vampire
McDowell.
killer. Yeah, Roddy
Roddy
McDowell.
McDowell's Peter Vincent vampire killer. So it's a love letter to the mid 80s. It really is. So
Actually, I got a text from our friend Lola Binkard where she's like, just watched both Fright Night movies, thinking about you and Jeff. Love you.
Aw,
You
that's
know?
nice. Well, let's wrap things up with this. There you go.
What the fuck,
And,
Terry?
That'll do it.
Was that a
That'll
goat?
wrap it up.
that was
All right.
not a goat.
I don't think Sue's okay.